Hello, welcome to another
What,
episode
what?
of Press Start to Begin. I'm Jack. You know that. I say it every week. Most of you speak to me all the time. This is
This
me.
is true.
I'm Jack. With me on my right, definitely in the same room, is
You're
Sean.
right. Isn't that on your left?
No, you're on my right.
Wait,
Don't
no, no,
confuse
no, no.
me.
It's left, us, you, right, left, this. Hello, I'm Sean.
And and today we're going to talk about lefts and rights.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell the
So, what
difference?
rights do you not have?
Oh my god. How
How are
that?
you, Jack?
I was about to
I
ask
already
you.
said
Let me
first.
ask you first.
Easy. No, no. I come first.
All right.
I said first. Come first as well. Yes. How are you?
Your lucky partners. Well, they would be lucky if they existed.
Oh.
Whoa.
Sensitive.
I am okay. Do you know the reason why I haven't got partners,
I'm good,
Sean?
thank you.
And I'm very angry about this is because this is episode 6,
69.
and there is still
Pathetic.
no girlfriend for Sean.
It
What the
is what it
hell is
is.
everyone doing? Come on,
Yeah.
guys, get it
I'm gonna have to start
together.
reaching for grandmas now. It's just
Honestly, like
last one was aunts, but
Sean's Tinder, like his kilometer radius has expanded to Alaska now. So come on, there's really there's very little. As long as you're between the ages of 18 and death, you have a shot. Sean, we will get you that girlfriend of your dreams.
it is what it is. Oh
Um,
well.
I'm
What's
good though,
that
mate.
kitchen towel thing in the background?
A kitchen towel.
Yeah, I can see a kitchen towel. Oh, it's your fan. Never mind. Continue. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm all right, thank you. It's the weekend. It's finally cooled off after being like 100 degrees in the UK. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was about 100
Oh,
degrees.
yeah. It was stiflingly hot. That was absolutely nasty, honestly.
Yeah.
But we lived it, and now we're in cold. Check out the window just in case.
I know the temperature is. Yeah, it's not bad. But how are you doing, Sean, on this lovely
I'm
fine
pretty
Saturday?
sweet. I just had a very sour sweet, that's about it. That was my morning and afternoon,
I
and
don't
it's 5
do.
o'clock now, so
I can't do sour
oh,
sweets. I'm a bit. I can't. I don't like
well,
them. I'm in that
all I'm
camp of.
saying is pussy. No, I'm joking. I ordered an Indian, which is scheduled for after the podcast, so, very nice. Look forward to that. Lovely, lovely.
That's
I love
Indian the
eating
food. He
food.
hasn't got an escort. Just
That's
FYI.
correct, yes. They would be expensive because they're pristine. Anyway, games,
News.
talking,
Podcast.
news. I think I've made that joke like 7 times. Are you gonna start us off with today's news? You have to do like
All right.
breaking news, where it like
Breaking news. Oh,
it zooms in and then you like spin. You just like hold the phone, Jonathan.
we
You know?
need like like the sounds, the BBC News, like the breaking
Yeah,
news sound. We need that with like a ticker along the bottom for
yeah,
people
yeah,
watching.
yeah.
I'm gonna spin. You
Like a
ready?
little slide that goes
This
across
is
like
breaking news.
breaking news.
This is as much spin as I can do because my arm hits the desk. You ready? Breaking
Oh my
gaming news.
god.
Bum bum bum
Oh
bum bum
no.
bum bum.
That's it.
Unity Engine decides to start charging developers every time someone installs one of their games. Unity, you
Great.
fucking idiots! What the hell
Idiot.
is wrong with you?
Yeah.
So Game
Not good.
Engine Unity has announced it will begin charging developers a fee every time a user installs their game. That's even if someone is just installing games they already own on a new computer. So
Insanity.
developers are understandably fucking livid. I would be too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny because like this story, the CEO actually sold all his stocks before making this announcement. So it's like even the CEO like knows he's like done a dick move. It's like, oh, okay, cool. And
I
the cost
mean,
is like 10 cent, but it's like if you think about downloads in general, these are free games, so the downloads are really like racking up. So, times by 0.1 is just a nasty amount of dollars. Pricks, basically.
that's yeah, that's really annoying.
How like if you think KPI and metrics, how does that like the board meeting go? Like how do we increase what? Like what is that increasing? What you just get more money from free games and you get reputation plummets and then you basically leave the company a week later because the company's dead?
I think
Insanity,
the
honestly.
thing I don't understand, right, is because I think it's maybe this is just like what I think. I can't back this up with actual facts because I don't know if it's true, but I think it is. I think Unreal Engine is bigger and more widely used than Unity Engine
Yeah,
from
yeah,
a game dev perspective. This is like game devs who don't use their own engines, whatever.
yeah, yeah,
So why, if you are one of the smaller engines, why would you quite literally make yourself even worse off by
yeah.
making sure that developers are more likely to then just start using Unreal instead? Or
It
like one of the other 2D engines, like
doesn't make
is it
sense.
Godot? There's a few 2D engines as well that are quite popular.
Yeah.
Don't get it. Like what move? What did they think was going to happen when they announced
Yeah,
this?
because like these are free games, and I'm almost certain there's gonna be like microtransactions involved, but it's like a lot of probably like what we're saying, like 80% of people that download free games are they'll probably play it for like an hour, because I know we do. We literally grab a free game and see if it's viable for what we want to play, and then that's it.
Mm,
So that's like 10 cents gone. They're going to gain absolutely nothing from it, because we're not
mm.
going to recommend it to anyone. We're not going to like do anything. That's 10 cents for each person that's downloaded it. And if this is a failed download, we re-download it, and that's an extra 10 cents. Insanity.
But also,
Yeah,
like, if
but
you're like
yeah.
what I do, like, even though I've got quite a lot of hard drive space, if I don't play a game for a while, I'll just uninstall it
Yeah, yeah,
and then I'll just
yeah,
download it again later. So
yeah. Defrag it and make your PC a bit more cleaner and healthier.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, it seems bizarre to me that they would think that's a good idea. I did see like there was a follow up story that was kind of saying, oh, by the way, like this won't affect every developer. But we're probably it will just be like a small minority of them, and it's like, yeah, okay, too little, too late, really, to change. Renege a
Yeah.
little bit on your policy. Like it's just
Interesting.
stupid. So yeah, Unity Engine devs.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
watch this and you use Unity Engine, don't use
What are
it.
you
Sorry,
doing?
go to Unreal. Unreal
Yeah.
is just better, and they don't
Yeah.
they don't
Basically.
they don't
Yeah.
pull this shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, yeah. But anyway, moving on to something that's widely known. To be honest, iPhone 15. It's been released. To be honest, it's actually at quite a lower price than the usual, which makes me kind of think and believe that they're running out of ideas, because they're going to hit a wall at some point. I know technology is always developing, but it's not like as if they brought out like 10 new features or anything. But anyway, iPhone 15 can run Resident Evil 4 remake, Assassin's Creed Mirage. I almost messed that up. I'd never mess anything up. And more modern AAA games at 30 plus FPS. That's interesting. I like that. Considering that the size of
mm.
the phone, it's like what, like 3 Sean penises
I
size?
think it's
Like
like the same size as this. Oh, what's this sticker on the back of my phone? It's a
oh
bit
my
reversed,
god,
but
what's that? Does that say like Morning Wood?
Gr-
Oh no.
Grimwood
What is that,
Gaming.
Jack?
Who is that?
I think that reminds me of that community, that amazing community full of beautiful, precious people that are just light up my everything, which brings us on to the no, it doesn't. But we are having a guest today that also fills my heart and hurts my head. If you can guess who it is, cool, because they'll be released. They won't be released. No, they're not. They're not caged. They will be revealed very soon. Anyway,
uh,
so they're saying Apple's iPhone 15 Pro is a game changer for smartphone gaming, with the capacity to run AAA titles like Resident Evil 4 remake and Death Stranding native. Well,
Nativity. The Death
nativity.
Stranding Nativity play.
Christmas. But what are your thoughts on that? Like, what are your thoughts on mobile gaming in general, Jack? Like, what's the thought
You know
process?
what I think they're planning is so I had this wonderful little device called a Razer Kishi. There's other things that do similar like functions like a backbone. It's a controller. Plug it into your phone. You can play games on your phone with a controller. It's pretty awesome. The Steam Deck came out and it's kind of like but it runs on Linux, so you can install more on it. I think Apple have realized, you know what? What if we can get some actual games running on our phones? The controllers plug into it. You can use it like a Steam Deck kind of thing where you play games on the fly. So I don't think it's a bad
Yeah,
thing, but I'm going to caveat that with I have a Steam Deck and I very rarely use it because if I'm gaming, I'm probably
PC.
right here on my PC.
Yeah,
So
I think it's definitely a traveling sort of thing, because like Henry Cavill, he travels a lot, and he says about like he wants to. Obviously, if he was at home, he'd be like gaming like a lot.
mm,
Um, but he has to use like mobile devices and that. So like in this instance, perfection. Like he's probably like he'll probably be raving about it if these are the games that you want to play. You know, if like you could play Witcher on iPhone or something, he'd be smashing it. So I think it's like it's definitely an interesting demographic of it. But I don't think
Mm,
I'd ever sort of be like, oh, I want to, holy shit, mom, that mobile game is
mm,
class. I think mobile games are sort of like those games that you have like 5 minutes or like an hour on the toilet or something, or you're on
yeah.
lunch break and you got nothing to research or buy from Amazon or Iceland like I do. Um,
I think
one of those
like
sort of things.
I
Yeah,
mean
but
I guess for me like so I have iPhones, right? I usually get iPhones. I'm not bothered about having the newest one
yeah,
all the time, but like because I use the
no,
Apple
no,
Watch, and I think it's probably one of the better smartwatches at the moment. It
yeah, I
seems
can agree
silly
with
to
that.
not have an Apple phone, and and also like because I've been in
Yeah,
the ecosystem so long, everything I have is in that ecosystem anyway, and they are
yeah,
good
yeah, yeah.
phones. They're not as flexible as like Android, but they are good phones. But for me, the selling point of a phone isn't going to be I can game on it. It might be like, and you can also game on this, but I'm not going to get it
Additional
for that
extra, yeah,
purpose.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. I
So I
completely
don't
agree
know.
with you.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. If it benefits you, awesome. Let us know in the comments. If not,
Mm,
it's sort of there, and it's definite the cost has definitely been brought down, which is very nice. And I think they're realizing that probably like the cost of living crisis. So it's cool that they've acknowledged that, and
mm,
thumbs up to Apple in that regard. But
mm.
yeah, yeah.
Well, on to other weirder news. Um, so Sony abandoned plans to measure sweat on PS4 controllers. This is, I mean,
Yeah.
I can think of a lot of reasons why you might want to measure sweat in an exercise capacity
I
on a
just
controller. Uh,
Yeah, but think about it, Jack. Think with me, okay? So you're at school, right? I know this is 100 years ago for you. No, I'm joking. You're at school and you're talking to your Call of Duty friends. Oh, I do search and destroy. Oh, I got a tactical nuke and that. But how much did you sweat? How much did you sweat in that game? That's like the conversation starter. Tinder bio. Guys, I reach
how
five
much?
percent sweat, but I top frag every single game. Is that not like perfection? That's like if I went to work, because I'm a data analytics manager, by the way. I would be like, sweat should be the top metric of business decisions, because if you're not sweating at work, are you even working?
I mean, there's so much to unpack there, and all of it is terrible. But I'm going to start with like, how many school-age children are on Tinder, and why would they be?
That
I
was
mean,
that was a separate one. That was a comma.
um, yeah. So before Sony landed on the final design for the DualShock 4 controllers, so they're the ones that came with PS4. They trialed. They actually made these. So they trialed prototype controllers, which measured skin conductivity to detect a player's emotions. I mean, fucking
Oh
hell!
yes.
Like, isn't that a bit like? And also, we're going to track your every movement, so like. It's just
Oh my god.
like I
Bro, could
don't.
you because this is related, I promise. Because in League of Legends they used to show the amount of ping on like the loading screen, so then you'd
Mm,
like focus on ganking that person because they're potato PC. What if it shows like the emotional level? So you just
oh my god!
keep killing the person that's
Like
sad.
really
to make
tilted,
them
or like
worse.
it's like yeah, this Tiny Sean 6 is very angry right now, according to the censors. Everyone's like, right,
Yeah. You
focus,
just like
Tiny Sean
fully
6.
focus.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many,
Oh,
there's so many problems that could come. It's unreal. Like, I don't
oh,
know
that's
what
so
Sony would.
good.
Not only did they think that it was a good idea, they made prototypes. I mean, they didn't just go, you know what, actually, this should just stay in the cutting room floor. Like, this isn't a good
I
idea.
don't know.
Players don't want this. They were like, no, let's just make prototypes because we can. Like, insane, honestly.
I really really like it. Like I know I joke about, but I actually think it's pretty funny. I think it's a genuine like hilarious metric. It's definitely a conversation opener, and it can definitely be a huge thing to compare and be like, I don't know. It's the start of something incredible, but obviously going the whole mile of emotion, that might be a bit scary.
I guess it
Maybe a little bit
depends.
like privacy and that, a little
It's
bit
what they
too much.
use it for, isn't it? Like, because if they're
Yeah.
like obviously like the League of Legends example you gave, there's no way you could tell everyone else in the room what a play. Like, you can't be like, player 4 is like feeling very horny right now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can't
You
like
just like
do that. Like, so I get like, if playing a horror game, you might want to know if someone's feeling a bit creepy, because then you can
that's cool.
decide to throw out a jump scare at the right time, or like,
100%. That's cool.
there's loads of
Yeah.
like there's loads of ways it could work. Like, as a technology, really, really cool. But
Mm.
like, I think measuring sweat or skin conductivity via the controller is probably the least efficient way to do it, when we have like facial recognition technology that's so advanced. You can just
Yeah.
tell how someone's feeling based on
Mm.
micro cues in their facial expressions. So why spend all that R&D on a controller for
Yeah.
something that camera technology can already, or could already, do at that time as well? It's crazy. So
Yeah.
I don't know, Sony, but
I don't know.
Sony, if you are watching this, probably because you
Obviously,
are,
they're
why would you
watching.
not be? Send us one of those controllers for
Yeah,
science.
can I trial it, please? Like, I don't even play controller, but I'll
We'll give it a
100%
go.
play Fall Guys or something.
If maybe we'll play like a round of Valorant with the sweat conducting
Maybe.
controllers, because then people will know that we are very, very tilted.
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, moving on to my favorite story ever in my entire life, because I love this. New York City gamer turns bedroom into retro arcade, costing over £20,000. There is a little bit of a catch, but thoughts, Jack? The retro gaming area. I think it was a bedroom as well, so you'd wake up to
Mm,
like fucking color destroying your eyes every morning. You know, when you're just like, oh, the sunlight. You just wake up like, the Rubik's
God,
cube.
you'd have like multicolored. It would be like waking up on the shop floor of IKEA. I feel like that's what it would be like. Where you're
Yeah,
just like, this is
where
too
am I?
much. I can't handle this.
Hear Space Invaders in the background. You just like start shaking. Like, you wake up, you just hear the.
I mean, it must be. This is the state of the country when this is the first thing that comes into my mind. Right? I was just thinking, I bet that is an expensive energy bill, because of all the arcade machines
100%.
plugged in. Right? Like,
Yeah,
that's gotta
yeah,
be like 20K to build it alone. That's already like, you've already spent too much money, mate. Like,
100% on a
that's too
room.
much
That's one
on
room.
one room. Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's also a greater cost, right?
there is. What is the cost, Jack? I'll let you read this part.
And in doing so, the resident that built this room lost his fiance.
Oh no. Yeah, not dead. She left.
She's not. Well, I
So
mean, she might be dead now. And if you are dead and watching us
rest
from
in
beyond the
peace.
grave, don't haunt
Yeah.
us. But if you are alive, well done. You probably
If you're
made a
single,
good
we
move.
could introduce her to Sean.
Oh
This is
my
true.
God, T,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
right.
I don't have a retro room. This is my games room. It's cream colored. It's easy. It's two desks that
Sean's
you can play
barely
on.
got a coat of paint, literally.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. Yeah.
and his standards are at an all-time low. So even if you are quite old now, or even if you are dead, that might still be
Okay.
okay. I don't know anymore.
Also, Jack, who was that speaking? Was that God?
That was Daddy T. Daddy T is obviously
Oh,
with
okay,
us,
yeah.
as
Oh,
always.
yes,
He
Daddy
is
T.
he
Hello.
is
Holding
the
our
voice of
hand
God,
graciously.
looking after us, making sure that we don't misbehave too much or say something too bad.
Yeah. Holding
Here's
our
T.
prized possessions.
How are you,
From
T? How are you doing? What do you think about this story?
I'm feeling very toxic after playing too much Valorant, but other than that, all good.
Would you spend 20,000 turning your room into IKEA / a retro arcade?
Definitely not IKEA. No, I'm a bit of a tight bastard, so I'll probably spend my money on whatever my wife tells me.
100%.
Steph, if you are
that's
listening,
safe.
She better not be.
Oh. Anyway, speaking of, I don't know how to reference this because you didn't say anything that references this person, but the opposite of bastard is when the parents. This person's
Sean, are you
really
doing all
nice.
right? Is everything okay? Are you okay?
We usually reference something that's been recently said. I couldn't think of anything.
Speaking
Well,
of
Gandhi
fiancés, not ours, of course, but somebody
Oh,
else's.
yeah. Speaking of fiance, that could have been quite an
There you
easy
go.
one.
I can segue
But
anything.
fiance in which direction, Jack? Is it male or female?
Fiancé
I don't
in
know,
which
Jack.
direction? And we're
Not
back to the
direction,
start.
but
Left,
this is going well.
right, up, down. What
Turn
direction?
around.
Of course, it would not be a podcast if we didn't have a guest like we do
This is
every
true.
week. And every
Yes.
week, every fortnight. We don't do this weekly. Don't tune in next week. We
Awesome.
won't be here.
Yeah.
Just listen to this one again because then it
Yeah.
gets our figures up. And
All
God
day, every
knows
day.
we need every listen we can get. We're
This is
definitely
true.
desperate and we're not trying to hide it anymore.
We cry.
Help us! Should we bring on the guests? It's probably about time, isn't it? We've talked fucking
It
ages
is
about
time.
nothing.
Yeah. How should we intro them?
Okay.
What are we thinking?
Oh, I think we've
They're
done...
ginger. There we go.
And it's not
That's
lamb.
And
There
it's
you
not
go.
lamb. Yeah.
The only two criteria we need. So, of course, without
Absolutely.
further ado, without further nonsense coming
welcome.
out of either of our mouths,
The absolute beautiful and amazing, heartwarming, of course, and the person that stresses me out almost as much as Reiner. It is KBear.
Hey, KBear.
Hi, Karis.
You're right.
How's it going?
Oh, well, I'm looking at you, so not great.
Oh yeah, see guys, you know the stress I said.
We started strong. Sean, listen, Sean, I'm looking at you right now, and if I was a girl,
Oh yeah,
I might
Oh.
date you, but only if you spend 20
Oh,
grand
okay.
turning your room into an arcade retro game.
Into a Hello Kitty
Otherwise.
bedroom. You know what? I wouldn't even mind that, to be honest.
Be kind of cool.
Yeah. So, Karis, would you have a retro gaming bedroom? You know, what if your fiance was just like, Karis, stop what you're doing, throw everything on the floor right now. Not on the floor, but like drop it. Retro gaming bedroom. What are we thinking?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining the
Well,
podcast.
good podcast.
See ya.
Thank you very much. See you next time. No.
Well, you say that, but I do actually want one, at least one, like, you know, like stand-up retro gaming kind of thing.
Ooh,
But
okay.
if he's going to pay for the bill, then that's fair.
100%. Absolutely. No, I respect that. Playing safe. Very nice.
Yeah.
So, we are here for a reason. And what is life comes up again, doesn't it, Jack? Every damn
We
time.
can't bring us up
Fuck.
every episode, mate. We can't talk about what
Yeah,
the
but
meaning of life
you
is.
always bring me up, so, you know.
This is true.
Question 1. Jack or me? Who wants to spoke it? Holy.
Yeah, are you doing okay today? Like, is everything all right? Do you want to?
Yes.
Do you wanna-
Moving on.
What did you do to
swiftly.
him?
Do you want a live
Karis.
therapy session on Twitch?
KBear. What is the earliest game you can remember playing? Question mark.
Oh, God. So for me, it's quite blurry because I feel like everything happened at once. Or it was just that long ago that everything feels like it happened at once. But I think my uncle got me a SNES when I was about 5. But it came in this cardboard box. So I don't know if it was a fallen off the lorry kind of job or not. But it came with I can't remember that big bazooka thing that came with SNES. I don't know if anyone had that.
Ah, the
Don't know
light
what
gun.
SNES is.
The light
Yeah,
gun.
yeah, the grey thing. And that was great fun. But I would have to say probably Super Mario Kart on the SNES.
Oh, okay.
Good
Very nice.
choice.
Yeah.
Good
Specifically Ghost Valley, because that was my favourite track.
Ghost Valley.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. I can hear the theme music, and if we were
Yeah.
prepared or a good podcast, we play that now. But we're neither of
That's
those
why we
things.
do it
So
every
everyone
time.
just imagine what it sounds like, or better yet,
Yes.
don't have to imagine. Google it. This is the age of
Yeah.
information. You can find
God.
anything you
Yeah.
like.
Well, after you've watched the podcast, because we're more important.
Yeah, this is true. Make sure.
I was hoping you'd do like an
see.
ad lib sound and be like do 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 do.
It's like, what instrument makes that noise? It's really like high
a
pitched
synth, innit?
squealy.
I think it's
I
the
guess
rusty
so.
trombone.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's your favorite driver in Mario
My
Kart?
favorite driver.
Driver.
What do you call it?
Who calls them drivers? in
Character.
Mario Kart? Just
What do you
character.
call it?
It even says choose your character. It's not choose your driver.
Choose your character.
Choose
your-
your favorite driver. Oh, I really like Lewis Hamilton, but my dad's quite good as well.
know. I would probably have to say Toad, I would say.
Toad. You
I
know
love
what?
Frank.
I can see you as a Toad main.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
It's a compliment.
I
Toad's
can see
cute.
you as a turtle.
Toad's
Oh,
cute.
thank you.
Toad's not a turtle. It's a mushroom.
No, I mean like, yeah, I know. I mean like, I was taking the turtle stance. You know, the shell that you throw at people that you don't like.
I need some cricket sounds right now. Jeez.
Oh,
Let's get the Discord
no.
soundboard ready just
No,
to make sure
incorrect.
we can
I
troll
don't do
Sean.
it.
There it
Oh,
is.
there it is.
There it is.
Thanks, Teetotal.
I really like that. That's a good first choice. I loved Mario Kart on the SNES. I was probably crap at it, but I loved it as a kid.
It was just like, do you remember what were the question mark boxes called?
I just called them question mark boxes.
You mean those?
Yeah. I remember they had like fake ones and you get bad things and they don't do that anymore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that. That made me sad. But you could
But the graphics
differentiate
were
them because they
horrific.
didn't move. They were like sort of like static.
And red.
Weren't they like flat as well on the original?
Yeah.
They were like they weren't up on the road. They were like flat on the road, right? So you drove over them. If I remember.
I tried to play it the other day and like the graphics were so bad. You know when you're looking at the grass and you're just like, I don't know if I'm on road or not. Yeah, it was not good.
I think because in your head, right, when you think about a game, you always remember it being higher definition than it actually was. And I think when you look back, you're like,
yeah,
wow.
It's because that's what peaked at that time.
I remember when Toy Story came out, and I was like, I think I was about 8 or 9, right? And I went to the cinema, and I told everyone, I was like, wow, like the people in it looked real. I couldn't tell the difference. And then, and obviously, like now when you watch it, you know, obviously not now. I've realized quite not that long after then that when I watched it again, I was like, oh, actually, I was an idiot. But like, you know, now when you watch it, you're like, fucking hell, like they look like the graphics that you know when you see like those Korean news stories where they animate them with like really crap 3D animations, like it reminds me of those. And I'm like, oh my god. So maybe
that's
like
nostalgic. I remember playing the Toy Story game. I don't know what it was called, and I don't know if you played it, but it was like you got to the boss by it was almost like open world where you could go like in different areas, like in the garden, the garage, and like construction site and stuff. And you'd like fully climb up whatever it is to get to the boss. And it's not like an instance boss. It's like if you fall off, you fall all the way down to the bottom, and then you have to go back up. Holy moly! I really want to find that game again.
Was that the one we played as Buzz Lightyear? It was a bit of like there was a few like jumping puzzles and stuff in it.
Yeah. There's like a jackhammer, and it's got like this really intense music where I literally feel like I'm gonna die in real life. Like I need to beat the boss.
I'm sure I played it.
Can you remind us after this to look at it? I'm really that's unlocked nostalgia, and I'm crying right now. If you can't see.
Well, it is another day that ends with Y, so of course you're crying.
This is true, yeah. So, Jack, you're going to take us on to question 5, are we on?
I'm going to take us so far on to question 11.
Oh, my lord.
11.
11.
All right, so question 2. KBear, KBear, both of those names that you go by. What is the game that had the biggest impact on your actual life?
The real one.
Your actual real
I have a life? No, I'm joking. I would have to say, there's quite a few in there.
Nice.
I would say New World because of you guys, but
wait, us guys? Can you just elaborate on who us
Oh,
guys
have you not
are?
heard of them?
No.
Oh,
no,
wow.
I haven't
Well,
heard of us guys.
It's this little group called Grimwood. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Oh, yes. I think it's in Cleopatra's tomb on a scroll. See, I thought of a new famous person, guys. Cleopatra.
Oh, well done.
You thought in a world of 8 billion people, you reference a dead like ancient Egyptian.
That's pretty good. That's pretty reaching.
I'll take it. Everyone knows Cleopatra. She was on Nickelodeon, right? Cleopatra Coming At You. Remember that show?
Oh god.
Yes, I absolutely do.
I was gonna say I went to school with her, but yeah, Nickelodeon.
There's a Netflix documentary out on her now. It's really interesting.
Is it?
Oh,
what the star or the ancient Egyptian?
Surely
the ancient Egyptian.
I'm less interested then. I was up here and now I'm less interested. No, I will watch that because I do watch documentaries on Netflix sometimes.
Yes.
It sounds interesting.
Anyway, why New World?
All right.
I'll obviously.
Oh yeah, no, it's not New World. Sorry. I was going to say you guys, but no, I'm joking. But I would have to say, it's like a little indie game called Raccoon. I think you pronounce it. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Right. No.
No.
Crash Bandicoot.
Tell us about it.
No. So it's like, I think it was created by like one woman. I think her name's like Laura Shigara. And she's got like, it was just her that created this game on her own, developed it, published it. And it came out in 2017. And I think I found it because I was doing my degree and I was looking for games to play to create my final project, which was a YouTube channel. And I started playing it, and it's like this 2D adventure game, quite like Zelda looking. And you're like playing this little boy who's in a hospital because he's not very well and he's got a terminal illness, which is really dark. But anyway, it's really
adventure
cutesy.
Game.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he asked his mum to take him to the forest to see the Guardian to make a wish, like in his favorite book. So you kind of like teleport to this really cool world, and it's like you do all these quests and stuff, and you've got to like help the people in the hospital, and you get little gifts from them, and then like you take it all to this Guardian, and basically it just comes to he comes to terms with him like him dying, and it's quite deep.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and so
that's really specific. Is it something like almost like projecting from the developer? Like, is
me?
the
Well,
lady
she's not dead yet, so life is great.
That's crazy.
She's just made another one, so.
And it's called, what did you say it was called again?
Raccoon.
Raccoon.
Yeah, it's like Rakuен.
Raccoon. Okay, it sounds really interesting. Like, I love games like, it's a bit like, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Senua's Sacrifice, which is, I don't know if you might not have played it, but you might have seen it, but it's like, it's really, really highly rated. I think there's a second one coming out as well, but it's a game that like tries to display like mental illness through playing it. You're like this kind of, I think she's like Viking. It's not Viking, it's something similar.
It's like an educational game that you play it as a game, and
no, I mean you wouldn't. You don't. It's not. It's literally like just this fever dream of a game. But like it has loads of like links to like when you're playing it. Like it's very rooted in like the character sort of like depression, and it's quite dark. But like not as dark as like collecting gifts to deliver to like because you're dead and people dying in hospital. Like that's definitely a new level of dark. But
yeah, that is
same kind of vibe. I think.
Yeah, it was just so funny because I completed the game, and yeah, it's the premise of like helping people around him come to terms with their death as well. And I just finished it, and I remember like it does like a cutscene at the end, and I just sat there like bawling my eyes out because it was so like emotional. And I walked into the other room and just took a look at like my fiance, and I just looked at him and I was like, I died.
Help.
Yeah, so it was a real good game.
Interesting.
Yeah,
definitely have to research into that.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I think I won't play it when I'm feeling a little bit.
No, you've got to be in good. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Christ.
Wow.
That's really interesting though that a game could be that powerful. Like it's literally pixels, bro. Like grow up sort of thing. But at the same time, it's like not. It's like fuck.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. So to sit there and be like, I just stared at the screen for a solid 5 minutes, like, what just happened?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's how like expansive human minds are, though, isn't it? Like, you literally can get it's like attachment again, sort of thing. But yeah,
it sounds a bit like I don't know if you guys have played this, but the very opening of Ori and the Blind Forest. I might have talked about this in a different podcast. I can't remember, but there's a game platformer called Ori and the Blind Forest it's on Steam and other places, wherever. I don't know, I think it's everywhere, Humble, whatever. But the opening is. There's no vocals in it at all. There's not even any text, really. Just the opening is just like these, like sort of video images sort of things. And it is unbelievably way more poignant than a video game should be for what it is.
Right.
But like, yeah, I strongly recommend, like, even if you're not banging into platformers, just play like the opening like 10 minutes of the game because it hits you so hard, and you're like, that's a sign of a good developer, right? They haven't needed to go all out and spend thousands on all this stuff. They've literally just been able to tell your story and make you feel something.
Different signals and
just
that,
with
yeah.
like, just these, low quality sort of 2D scrolling platformer. It's crazy, but
Damn.
yeah.
Have you ever? I don't know if I've asked you this question. It might have been in our forbidden podcast, but have you ever like cried at someone dying in a video game or anything? That's a question to Jack, T, and Keris, and the people that are watching. Has anyone actually like fully physically cried?
No, but I'll probably I would have written this in the chat, but I came close when Eris dies in Final Fantasy 7.
That was.
Mm.
I don't think I didn't cry, but definitely it hit me when I got to the end of The Last of Us, because it was, when I played the game, it was one of the best games I played in a long time when I played it, which was like 2013, I think it came out, something like that. Might have even been earlier than that, but I don't think I played it till 2013. But yeah, I remember playing it, and right at the end, I definitely felt like a bit of a gut punch,
Yeah.
It's a very like emotional story, and if you've watched the TV show, it replicates it really well. Especially if you have watched the TV show, you'll remember episode 3 with Fank and Bill, which is a particularly painful episode. If you haven't watched it, you should. Fucking incredible TV show, and if you haven't played it, you should. Fucking incredible game. Yeah, but and also like T, I think when Ares died in Final Fantasy 7, I came very close because I did not expect it, and I loved Final Fantasy 7, and I was also about like 12, I think, when we played it. So that's my excuse.
It's interesting. We just had some messages from Dran. At the Walking Dead first game, the end of the game, I remember being on the verge. Is that the game where you play Clementine, but you played? I think his name was Lee. Was it Lee?
Is this the Telltale game you're talking about?
Yeah, that's right. Because I watched PewDiePie play it, and that was horrendous. Honestly, that hurt. Lee is the main. Yeah, so it's the same one. Yeah, I completely agree with your experience there, Dran. That's the same with me, to be honest. But yeah. Oh, Matt just put a nice one in there. Cole in Gears of War. I completely agree. Yeah, Gears of War was a bit Ty where he shotguns himself from all the, because he was a prisoner. You release him and he shotguns himself because he's sort of like, horrendous. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Games, emotion, nerds. What a story. Cool.
Yeah.
Question 7033. Keris, what's the worst game you've ever played, and why was it so terrible?
I've got a recent one.
Oh God.
It might be Starfield.
Oh shit!
I watched Keris play
I'm
this, so
interested.
please
Go on,
say
Keris,
more
break
about
it
this,
down
because
for us.
it was fantastic.
Well, this isn't my final choice because I don't think I gave it enough time, and I've probably got a graphics card that might need an update. But
Okay.
yeah, it was just so pixelated, and it looked like I was playing a PS1 game.
No.
But I actually, of course, I hate FIFA. Who likes that game?
Fuck.
Soz.
Agreed.
And the majority of shooter games, because I'm just really bad.
Oh, it's okay. Jack feels that as well. Anyway, Karen.
I do.
Whoa. But I would have to probably say, as much as I love like the game that came out in the early 2000s, probably The Sims 4.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, okay.
And I've got like well over 1,000 hours on that.
Is it because Sims 3 was pretty good?
I didn't play Sims 3. I hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why Sims 4 then?
Because I've probably spent so much money on it.
Oh my God, okay. Fuck.
I did a little Google search the other day, and yeah, I know. if you consider buying all the DLC as well as the main game, I think it came to something ridiculous, like nearly £1,000. It was like £974.
What?
No
Yeah.
way.
Jesus
What the
Christ.
fuck?
The Sims
Yeah.
4 and all the expansions cost nearly £1,000.
Yeah.
EA are
Bro, the
laughing all the way to
Sims
the bank
dev.
with that, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Jesus
They're
Christ.
fucking. They're watching this podcast right now, obviously. Like,
Well, yeah.
we got them, boys.
Like, quick, push out Grimwood Sims add-on pack.
Yeah. They've
That's
just released 4 more, to be honest. So,
4?
yeah, I think they're stuff pack.
Oh my god, that's
I
insane.
know.
how like what's the variance of these expansions? Is it like you literally can buy an expansion pack with like 4 items in it, and then there's like
Well,
expansion packs where like there's just monumental like environment differences and designs and shit. Like, what's the variation of these expansion packs?
so you've got like a proper expansion pack, which is sometimes like it changes something within the game. So, for example, you've got like seasons, or you've got like Parenthood, which adds on quite a few things to the game that wouldn't be in main game. It comes with like items, like in build items and clothes and stuff like that. And then I think you've got game packs, which is like smaller,
Yeah.
like city. It's not even a city anymore. It's like a village with other little bits. And then you've got stuff packs, which is like maybe a room full of stuff. And then you've got an even smaller pack, which is basically like 4 things.
That's
Yeah.
like
That's crazy.
that's insane that they still. I
But
mean, The Sims 4 came out so long ago. They're still milking
That's
it
Yeah.
so
now.
smart though.
This is the longest gap they've done. I think normally they would do 5 years, but I think this came out in I want to say 2014. So yeah, this is the longest gap they've ever done.
2014.
Have you noticed this
Fucking
is really
hell.
common though, because there's a lot of games at the moment where this has been the longest time they've just kept the game running. So like,
Yeah.
look at like Final Fantasy 11 was the first online like MMO Final Fantasy, and that was not replaced, but basically replaced by Final Fantasy 14, which is 10 years old now. And the gap between 11 and 14 was not 10 years.
Yeah.
It's like a handful of years. And like, look at GTA 5 that came out in 2013. It's 10 years old, and it still haven't got 6.
It's coming out soon.
Yep.
I think it's next year.
I'm sure I saw. I could be corrected on this, but I'm sure I saw somewhere that the time it's taken between GTA 5 and 6, every other GTA game had come out within the time that it's taken. So like,
fucking
No
hell.
1 to
way.
Oh, this is
5
gonna
came
blow it
out
out of the park.
in less than the time it's taken for 5 to 6, which is
Yeah.
like, that's nuts. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the games were simpler, but game design was also harder. There were smaller teams, different tools. So
Yeah.
I think it's like, I mean, it's a bit like the Skyrim joke, right? Like, how many different consoles and things can you release a game on and just keep charging people again and then again and then again?
FIFA.
And then you throw in, like with GTA 5, like online currency, so you can buy it, and it's just like, can you stop milking money out of people and just make a good game? Just make a really, really good game,
Weird one.
like Larian Studios did with Baldur's Gate 3. Even if it's not your taste, the game has no microtransactions. It is a complete game, and it's phenomenally polished for what it is and the depth that game has. Honestly,
There was a bit of a gap between Baldur's Gate 2, though.
different
Yeah,
developers,
there
though.
was.
It's completely different developers. Larian only picked it up not long after Divinity, so it took them about 4 or 5 years to develop it.
Yep. And by the words of our beautiful, beautiful Doomstar 69, once you've purchased it, Jack, it is free.
But yeah.
That's why.
We'll
That's
try
why
that
Baldur's
next time
Gate is very good.
Rockstar re-release GTA 5 on PS6.
Yes. So,
all right, next question.
next question.
So we talked about the worst game you've ever played, Keris. What
We have.
is the best game you've ever played and why?
I hate this question. Okay, so I'm gonna like think out loud.
Go for it.
That's how I work, baby.
Yeah. So I'm gonna obviously Zelda Ocarina of Time, massive. Love that game.
Good contender.
We've got we've got Valheim.
Another good
Also
contender.
massive contender. We've got Disco Elysium. Have you ever heard of that game?
I have heard of
Yes.
Disco Elysium, yes.
I absolutely love that game. And then we've got One Shot and Raccoon, which are very small indie games, but they were very well done.
Interesting. What's One Shot?
It's quite similar to Raccoon, but you're like on this dystopian land and you're trying to escape to go home. You're stuck.
Nice. Like
It's
a
really
gathering
cool.
sort of like resource
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
game. I bet Smokey would like that.
yeah.
Smokey would like
Oh,
that.
resource.
What if you had to choose? They're all really different games, by the way, like genre-wise.
Yeah,
I've got
they are.
more. I've got
Completely
more.
different. If you
Easy.
because we do this to everyone, so I'm going to drill you for this. I'm sorry, Clint. What
Oh,
if you had to pick one? One, what would it be? You can only choose one of these things. Overall,
Good
the
luck.
best game you've ever played.
Oh, I'm gonna
This
have to
will
go for
be
Zelda. I'm
Zelda.
gonna have to
Is
go for
Oh,
Ocarina of
right.
Time.
Ocarina of Time.
Cass is like rubbing her hands together, like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
another
Cass
another
will be very
fan.
happy. But I mean, it is a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
Just the best thing I've ever played. Like I still
I
play it
haven't
now.
played it, but
Hey, listen. That's all I hear over and over
I
again.
hate Navi.
Navi. Can we just kill Navi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
such
the
a
And
good
the
Navi
game.
owl. Oh, what was his name?
I
Hoot or
can't.
something?
It is Who, isn't it? The owl.
Yeah, and then like I'd be
Corporate.
pressing B to get like through the like words quick, and then he'd be like, "Do you want to hear that again?" And I'm like, "Ah."
Yeah,
Oh.
you're accidentally like, no, I want to skip the dialogue. I want to speak to you again. Fuck off.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
think it has multiple reasons. Like I played this with someone who was like a brother to me, and his mum, and we played it all the time when we were kids. And like the walkthrough book, we used so much that it was away from the
Yeah.
spine, and
Mm,
yeah. And then we all got the
I
tattoo
remember that.
together, and it's just one of the games that sticks with you, I think.
I
Hell
love
yeah.
that. It's such a good story as well.
Yeah, really
I
good.
love the use of the physical like walkthrough books and that, because mine was
Yeah.
like the Warcraft chest, where you got like World of Warcraft, like just the guide on its own, like the
Brady
fresh
Games
one.
guide, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the Burning Crusade one, yeah, I read it like back to front because that's all I could do when you weren't on the games. So I think that's like back in the day, you know, like cheat codes and that you like wrote them down on like notepads and that. And like nowadays you wouldn't really have that because it'll all be online and everyone has like all the time in the world to go online because the internet is so accessible nowadays because of like mobile phones, tablets, desktop, etc. But yeah, that's awesome. I like that you use their physical walkthrough books because it's almost like you are navigating with a map in the car with someone, and you're like,
Yeah.
we need to go over here, we need to get this item, etc.
I know
I
it's
just
like
remember being sorry, Carol.
No, you go.
I remember being like just stuck on this one point, and we were sat there for ages trying to figure it out, and it's just like now you just Google it, but it was just so funny, just hours of us going, "Oh, I don't know where to go next." Like,
Problem solving.
Do you
Yeah.
think that like being able to Google stuff now has changed gaming for the worse?
yeah, I would say so. I'm so bad at Googling things because I get so frustrated. I just want to finish the game or like go past one bit, and I'm just like, oh,
It's like
that took the fun away.
the age of like real Easter eggs is kind of dead now, isn't it? I think because
100%.
like
100%.
people, data miners will, even if you don't find it by playing the game, data miners will find like code and stuff or snippets of information and data that shows where things are hidden. So like it's really sad in a way because maybe it's nostalgia, but I've got like a lot of fondness for like I had the Brady Games Warcraft Battle Chest thing as well. So like I read that whenever I was at my girlfriend at the time's house because I couldn't play Warcraft there. I probably bored her to tears, but I didn't. I was quite a selfish teenager. But I just sat and just read. Like I was just sat and read. I knew it off by heart, that book, because I just wanted to play, and because I couldn't play, the next best thing I could do was just sit and read that manual like, back to back.
That's exactly the thought process of me as well.
It was in fact like I mean, so I've got a lot of nostalgia attached to that. And same with like Pokemon, like I had the Brady Games Pokemon manual. That's how I caught every Pokemon in Pokemon Red, including Mew, which I got from someone else, traded it to me. But yeah, like it I've got a lot of fondness attached to those. I wish there was like an internet equivalent that wasn't like here's everything in a game, but just like a bit of guidance. There's no more like trying to memorize the up down BA start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like a hardcore version when where you're limited to like every website of like every database website and news article is like disabled once you play the game. But how do you implement that?
Yeah. Do you know
You
what?
basically turn off the internet.
I think about this quite a lot, and the only conclusion I can come to, and there are probably smarter people out there that will think about this more and come up with a better solution, but all I can think of is having a game that is in some way truly random, so that not like everything, but like think about how
Yeah.
like Rust, by the way, I'm not condoning playing Rust because there's a lot of toxicity in that culture, but Rust generates maps. Now, there's tools that people use to see those maps, but ultimately the maps are like procedurally generated, and Valheim does it too, to be fair. And the thing that works with that is there's still the element of discovery. You still have to find stuff. And
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
developers can find a way to like refine that so it can develop much more complex architectural differences that look natural, look like they're handcrafted, but are actually just completely different. I think that
Yeah.
takes that at least covers the exploration bit, because people can't be like, here's a map so you can find your way around this, because it's like,
That's
that
right.
doesn't apply
Yeah.
to me. I've got no fucking idea my way around this place. I've got to figure it out myself. Obviously there's other things. People will find ways to cheese through content and kill certain mobs in a particular way, and
That's
you know,
just how the gaming community works, really. It's like
yeah.
it's a hobby to people, isn't it? Min max and all that jazz. But
Yeah.
yes. Anyway,
Yeah.
question 6. Just kidding, it's 5. Ha.
I was like,
If you could wipe, would you? No, I'm joking. If you could wipe the memory of any game from your mind, what would it be and why?
oh,
Oh,
ooh. I feel bad because I haven't said New World in any of this, and I feel like that I should be like, oh.
go
It was
for it.
good at the start, but I would probably have to say Disco Elysium.
Ooh, is that for bad or for good?
Good.
Ooh,
So you want to
I
wipe it
feel
so you can play it again.
yeah.
nice.
I tried to play it again, and I was like, I've already done this. Like, but
One of them.
yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. It's like a Cluedo game, but I don't know. But with a roll check, so you've got a roll check for like I don't know. There's this big guy you got to get past, and can you get past him? You've got a roll check, see if you've got enough sanity or like
Oh, okay.
if you're
Sweet.
strong enough. Yeah, but it was. I think it's one of those games that has like obviously different endings. But I have a habit of no lifing them as well, and I did it within 24 hours in one sitting, which is
Hell
terrible.
yeah. That's awesome. So, when was this played? Like how long ago, and like what was it played on?
PC, and I think it must have been earlier this year, probably like January time.
Oh crap! So very recent.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah. I didn't know if I'd like it or not, but it was actually really like it just sucks you in, and I think the ending literally just blew my mind. I don't know what everyone else's ending was, and I probably shouldn't ruin it for everyone. So like, I won't say anything. But it went from the main game being so dystopian and like quite dark, to then like towards the end, everything just like clicked and unfolding. It was just like really magical. Like I don't know. I don't know
I
if
like
you've
that in
even.
films like Green Lantern.
God's sake. I really like story games like that. Like I did enjoy some of the Telltale games. And did you ever play Heavy Rain? Have you ever played Heavy Rain?
I know life's that as well. Yeah.
It's another one that like I played it and I was like, I fucking love that. And I tried to play it again. I was like, I can't do it again because I want to make the same choices I already made. And I know
Yeah.
if I make different ones, I know I'll get a different ending, but like I still sort of know the story's still going to take me roughly in this direction, even if how I get there is like different. And I think again, it's another problem, right? Because if you create a narrative game, the development cost and time it would take to have narratives that go off genuinely like this with completely different characters and different scenes and stuff. Telltale kind of did it a little bit because they could afford to, because of like the way it worked. It was quite closed, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I really like games like that.
Yeah.
I always wondered, and I don't know what, I still don't know why. I probably could just Google it, but I haven't. Like Telltale obviously went bust, didn't they? And I couldn't imagine how that happened because they went through a phase of having like They did Back to the Future. They did Walking Dead. They did what was the comic book one? I can't remember. They did like a DC Comics one. I can't remember what it was called. The Beast Within, I think it was called, maybe something like that. Which was like quite cool. I played that one. There was like I think there was a Batman one. There was a Guardians of the Galaxy. Like there was so many, and I was like, they must be making tons of money.
Yeah, so quite popular
And then
releases.
they folded, but they folded.
Could they have done a Unity?
I don't know, but
sell the stocks, ruin the company.
But then, because there was a time where I know everyone said, if you don't already own Telltale games, buy them now because they're about to not be on sale anymore. I don't know if that's changed. Probably someone else has picked them up, right? Because it's too big a thing to stop doing. But there's not been really any, at least not that I've seen. There's not really been any new, or
I completely forgot about them.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. All right, Keris. Question 6. Question the 6th. And I know we've done this in no numerical order because we've said a different number every time, but this is actually question 6. So, what is your experience of being a gamer through the years? And do you feel that it's changed at all with society? Or do you feel like society's changed around gaming?
I think, to be honest, I've been quite lucky because I grew up with people who are gamers anyway. So, like, for instance, my dad, I would always play Devil May Cry with him when I was younger and Bayonetta.
Nice.
And we always played video games together. And then the person I spoke of, like, with Zelda and that, yeah. So, and it's always been like men. So yeah, my dad and my brother, like, so I've always felt quite included, and I've never really been subject to the stigma of men going, oh, you shouldn't be playing because you're a woman. Not really. So I think in that aspect I've been really lucky, and then to be an adult and to join Grimward as well and be so welcomed and stuff, and I feel really at home. Like, I think I'm quite lucky. But yeah, I think things obviously have changed. I think people forget that there's someone else behind the screen and they can take it too far with comments, like especially in League, obviously.
Any Riot game, honestly.
Yeah. And, like, not going to lie, I have been pushed to the point where I've probably said something I shouldn't say, but, we move. But yeah, generally I just block and mute and move on. But I think overall I've had positive experiences. Like from school, like we'd go home and play like Time Splitters with all the lads and stuff.
Game.
What a game. Amazing. Yeah. And we'd play, oh my god, what was that game? Oh, I got into WoW because of them. Like, it's just, yeah. I feel like it's been fine for me, but I don't know.
I love that.
But I do feel like
good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
There was a game that came out recently, and I can't remember what it was, but within the game was a PS2, and you could play Time Splitters 2 inside that game.
That's no way.
And I was like, oh god, what game was it? I need to find it out. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Research.
Yeah. If only we'd known. Yeah, like I love Time Splitters 2. Yeah, I really like that. Like, I think it's really fortunate that you've had a really positive gaming experience. And like, obviously, we're biased when we talk about Grimwood, but we always try and put ourselves out there as being like free of like the toxic gaming culture or like a bro culture in games. And I've noticed, even I was in a Valorant match a few days ago, just by myself, and there were a few women that were playing as well, and they were just called, they were very much ingrained in the bro culture, and I was like, I feel awkward in this, and obviously I benefit from this like patriarchal bro culture more than they do. So why do I feel awkward? And I was like, well, I think it's because it is
Riot Games for you, community.
Riot Games, yeah. The community is not great, and I think we've all been pushed to the point where we've sort of reacted or said stuff to people in games we sort of would take reaction. Back. But I also think like the only way we can change it is to exist, right? To do what we do. Like, I mean, that's what Grimwood's for. We do lots of things, but the big thing about our community is literally we don't care about who you are. And I don't mean that in like a, so fuck off. I mean that in case of like who you are is irrelevant. As long as you're nice and you're kind and you're welcoming, you don't have to be good at games. You don't have to be anything. God knows we let Shaun in and he's one of the community
This is
leaders.
true.
So, but no, genuinely,
true.
like, you know, I think you've been fortunate, but also there are a lot of stories of people that have been, and not just, this isn't just women, because men are just as, you know, victimized by the same mentality too, I think, and especially boys.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah,
they
yeah,
either,
more influenced as well
yeah,
into joining it rather than being like. I mean,
100%.
they are the victim of of it as well. You know, name calling
Mm,
and bullying and all that. But they're also like brought up to be the name caller and the bullier.
mm,
You know, but
Yeah.
it's interesting like how the way you were brought up, you were surrounded by positivity. So and then you sort of like you what's the word, expelled the positivity to others around you because that's what you were used to. And I
mm.
think that's a human trait. You know, I'm reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. This really cool dude recommended it to me to read,
He sounds
and
handsome, whoever it was.
of course it was Jack. And in the book, he says about surrounding yourself with people that already have those good habits, and it's exactly the same in the sense of like the gaming culture. So that's again what Grimwood is about: is surrounding people that have the mindset or want to have the mindset, and then sort of surrounding them with our mindset. So and then we can then take that to the next level and just enjoy what we're doing, not frustrate. I mean, obviously, you're always going to get frustrated at games. God, I had a horrendous Valorant game yesterday, and I got frustrated. But it's not like we deal with it a lot different. You know, we don't name and blame and like
Yeah.
we sit down and like what happened, and then everyone talks about it, and then it's a comfort. So yeah,
I
it's
think
fantastic that you grew up like that. That's awesome.
Mm,
yeah.
Go dad and brother. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so lucky. And I think also I was quite scared when I first joined you guys, because I knew no one and I was like, oh my God, we're going into a war. I don't know how to do this. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing right now. And everyone was just so encouraging. And I was just like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, which is
yeah.
very, very fucking rare on New World, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it
Give me
doesn't,
your
Jeez.
VOD.
yeah.
Tell me your VOD. Did you gravity well correctly?
Yeah, things have changed a little bit now, haven't they? There, but I think like I remember, and I think the reason why I have fond memories with New World has nothing to do with the game itself. It is literally like I remember I'd go into a invasion, and I just
Oh
hear
my
like the Willow
god.
Gates as they were, Smike and KBear just being like, "Is that Jack Ravenwood?" I'd be like, "Hey guys," and like we were on different sides, but like it didn't matter, you know. It was so cool, and then when we just found ourselves through complete circumstance being on the same server again after loads of merges and splits and shit, and you know, within like a week, I think, of discovering on the same server, you guys were like, "Can we join you guys?" And I was like, "Hell, fucking yeah, you can join us! Like,
Yeah,
get yourselves
yeah.
right in." Like it was, um, and you've regretted it every day since, I'm sure. But
True.
no, it's been
Doesn't matter.
lovely, honestly. I think like you've been an incredible addition to the community, and I love like the story you have of like being grown up in gaming, because it's such a
Yeah, it's
nice
good.
environment. I think
Really.
gamers, like
Yeah.
especially older gamers, people who gamed back before this toxic bro culture sort of started becoming more prevalent, I think they definitely like tend to be really warm, quite like calm, patient people. It's always like, you know,
Mm.
like it's always nice to have that influence and be like, you know, gaming is supposed to be fun, and like it can be fun, and you don't even have to
Yeah,
be good at it to enjoy it. You just have to enjoy it. You
yeah.
don't have to
The,
Yeah.
have
the
like
the
anything.
bad moments are also like lessons that give positivity, because it's like when you realize you're doing bad and the source of it, and you know the solution is to train in this regard. It's like I'm gonna make progress. It's like hell yeah, I'm motivated to
Mm,
do it, and then you start feeling the progress. It's like monumental compared to oh my god lag, oh my god team shit when
mm.
you're the problem sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Not
So
all of the older gamers are patient. I just wanted to jump in and say.
Yeah,
okay,
T
cool,
T
cool
is
booty.
T is patience is not one of T's strongest traits, I would say, probably. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I don't really. There's not many games I get very tilted in, and Valorant is one of the games I do. But I don't think
Naturally.
once I've been in a chat you're all shit, or you should do this, or delete the game, or all this kind of stuff. Like, I don't say that. Most of the time, I'll be like, I'm doing fucking shit in this game. Like, I need to do this, I need to do that, or like, what's this person doing? Like, they should be doing this. But I won't say that to them because it's not my place. It's me just venting my frustration to the guys I'm playing with on Discord. And I think if more people just did that, if you get tilted in a game, I think you get to a point where you're like, you know what? This game is affecting my mood in a negative way. I think I need to step away and probably not play it for a little bit. I think that's really important because not enough people do that. But I think, unfortunately, they don't. A lot of people just play it and it's everyone else's fault, and they're going to make sure they know that they think it's their fault. And
and that's who we avoid, and we won't get in the community. We'll get the gems, the nuggets, the shining people in shining armor, of course. Yes. Little bit off topic, but if anyone has a question for myself, Keris, the beautiful guest, and Jack, or even T, please put it in. No, Jack. No, I was gonna ask her about that afterwards. Don't ruin it. If you got any questions, please pipe up, put it in the chat, and we'll ask the person that it is directed to. Anyway, ignoring what Jack just did and ruined my life, Keris, what is your favorite quote?
Oh my god!
I don't know what you're on about.
Just say it. Do the roll.
I love you, Daddy.
There it is. Keris is very famous for the beautiful "I love you, Daddy" from what was the film? I think was it Digimon Attack on Titans?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it was Teletubbies or something. I think
it was Green Lantern, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Green Lantern. You should know.
You know what? I am gonna probably cry because I forgot about that. But yeah, it is what it is. To be honest. But...
Oh, I love that. Well, it is. We've been talking for bloody ages now.
Maybe even 3 long.
3 long, maybe even 4 long.
You need a vape, guys. Come on.
You need a vape. I know, honestly. But Keris, it's been amazing having you on. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experiences. Would you like to hear the games people will need to play if they want to experience your life?
Yeah, go for it.
No, good. Because even if you said no, I'm still going to do it. All right, so first up, if you want to relive the life of Keris, all you need to do is follow these 5 steps. 1, play Super Mario Kart on the SNES as Toad and do Ghost Valley. Very important. And also, if you want to hear the Ghost Valley music, Google it. I'm not going to do it because I can't replicate a synth with my voice, but it's very high-pitched and a bit creepy, and I love it.
Disappointed.
Then, when you've done that, if you feel like your mood is quite high and want to be really bloody depressed, where you play a game about like delivering gifts to sick people in hospital and you're dead and stuff, play Raccoon. And then just to punish yourself, if you've got a spare grand kicking around and you don't know where to spend it, get The Sims 4 and all the expansions and play that. And when you're done, and when you finish crying over how frustrated you are at spending all that money on a game like The Sims 4, you can go on and enjoy yourself in Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and even put up with Navi telling you to listen over and over again because she's a bloody annoying fairy. But my god, it's a good game. And last but not least, of course, you need to hit up a little game called Disco Elysium, which is phenomenal, and you should play it. And it's quite short as well. You can complete it relatively quickly. It takes like 10 hours.
Hey, what's wrong with being short?
8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's Keris's game list. So yeah, play those games. God damn it! And if you don't,
and
what
you
the hell is wrong with
Keris.
You? Yes. But yeah,
Keris, you are amazing and a great person. As soon as this podcast ends, I'm going to literally throw every insult at you in under the sun because I feel sick being so nice.
As is tradition. Like, I don't blame you.
As tradition. So yes, thank you very much for coming on the podcast. Thanks for everyone that's joined in the messages, the chat. It's been popping
off.
And it's been awesome hearing everyone's experiences, and hopefully we'll get you guys on there on the guest list as well, because we want to hear everyone's point of view. Perspective, experience learning is the way we want to learn, and everyone's different. So hell yeah. But Awesome.
yeah.
Thanks, Jack. Kisses.
Cool.
Mwah.
Thank
You're
you,
amazing.
Sean. Thank you, Keris. Thank
No,
you, Daddy
no,
T. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And we love you all, and we will see you next time. Bye. We love you.
Yay.
Bye. Bye. Bye.